Hello, this is Yogi for the day 3 of my 30-day challenge. I noticed recently some differences in approaches and mindsets involved in two different parts of my life. One area is the area of computer science, software, mathematics, and game theory. And the mindset here is skepticism and looking for what does not work, what is wrong. The other area is the area of personal development, psychology, self discipline. The mindset here is that of trust and looking for what works instead of what does not work, what is right, what works. And what do I mean exactly here? So, in this video, I want to talk about that difference. And I'm going to use the word mathematics and personal development as these two areas. But mathematics really means a broader area of computer science, software, objectivity, and science in general, where scientific method is more applicable. And personal development is more of psychology, habit building, self discipline, and areas like that. All right, so let's get right into it. So the first area is, or first mindset is the mindset of skepticism. When I was going to college and grad school, studying theoretical computer science and mathematics, the focus while reading proofs and theorems and various scholarly articles was to focus on what is wrong. We are looking for signs of error in the proof. And if any of the part of the proof was wrong, or any of the part of the software doesn't work correctly, the whole proof or the whole software is incorrect. The whole proof was false. Contrast this with the mindset of trust and exploration in the personal development field. When I started to focus consciously on improving myself and personal growth, I started to read a lot of material around it. I realized that many of the things I read do not really make sense, or I might not agree with them, or they are not true for me, or I don't understand them or appreciate them enough to see if they're true for me or not. But that doesn't make the whole book or the whole article I'm reading them from, it doesn't make the whole book wrong, or the whole book cannot be thrown out of the window because of that if I find something that might not be right in it. Instead, what I need to look for in the area of personal development is what is right and what is applicable to me. What works, instead of focusing on as in mathematics what doesn't work, what is wrong, and looking from that angle. Another big difference in these two areas is the subjectivity versus objectivity spectrum. Mathematics is objective. It's right or wrong. You are looking for the grand truth, or what is true for everybody. So the qualifier, as in symbolic logic qualifier for anything we prove in mathematics, is for all. It's true for all. In personal growth, on the other hand, it is subjective. You're looking for what works for you, not what works for everybody. So the qualifier there exists. If there exists some things that work for me, or there exists some person for this philosophy, or this way of thinking, or this works or not. One is exploring in the area of personal development. One is an ingredient in the whole soup, instead of stirring the soup neatly from outside, as in the mathematics. You don't have to get involved in the soup itself. In personal development, you are part of the soup. Another big difference in the areas of personal development and mathematics is if things fit together easily or not. In mathematics, usually things fit together. There might be many pieces to the puzzle, but how they relate and how the dots come together is somewhat clear. In personal growth, I feel, is that the dots remain dots for a long time. Their meanings, their colors keep changing. What they mean to me, what they mean to you, keeps changing. And it is really hard to come up with grand theory of everything, even about small parts of your life, like is waking up early good? Is waking up early a good idea? Go figure. It's almost as if in mathematics it's a science and personal development is art. Although I don't like the distinction, and that's not quite true, of course, bringing measurements and data to personal development has huge advantages. It can accelerate your growth, it can accelerate what what how easily or how quickly you figure things out for yourself. I have learned a lot from personal development experiment from personal experimentations by, in particular, by Steve Pavlina of stevepavlina.com. He keeping logs, making correlations is super important, and he does a lot of experimentations on himself, which are super interesting, and they make it quicker to learn things about yourself. I feel like the personal experimentation has a kind of premium in personal development that is not appreciated or not seen in traditional science, and that's why I tend to call this more like an art than a science. Another dimension of difference in across mathematics and personal development is the idea of repetition and if things click or not. Repetition is important everywhere, of course. This is the key to internalizing anything one learns. But I think it is a lot more important in personal development than in mathematics. When I read it, when I read a theorem in mathematics, I could go over it a few times over the course of a few months and I understand it well. But if I'm trying to develop a habit of, let's say, exercising regularly or waking up early, the repetitions required to get a hang of it are enormous. Or maybe another reason or an alternate explanation for this could be that maybe I am a lot more novice in personal development than I'm in mathematics. I think I needed a lot of repetitions of basic addition and subtraction and multiplication and division before I got a good hang of them. So maybe in personal development, I'm still learning the basic algebraic manipulations of personal development, and that's why I need a lot of repetitions. I also think that with repetitions, things seem to fit together in personal development better. You hear the same thing over and over again from different facets, different way of saying the same things, try different ways, and finally it clicks. The idea of something clicking is a lot less familiar to me in the area of mathematics. These are the areas I wanted to talk about today in terms of the dimensions in which mathematics and personal development differ. In conclusion, mathematics and personal development require very different mindsets. In mathematics, things are neat and fit together, mostly. They are more objective, and repetition is less important. Moreover, one is looking for what is wrong. The mindset is that of skepticism and looking for what is wrong. In personal development, on the other hand, things are more messy. Connections of dots is much harder to come by and see. What works and what does not work is much more subjective, and repetition has a lot more premium. Moreover, it is important to look for what works for you or what is right instead of looking for or focusing on myriad of things that are irrelevant or looking for what is wrong. It has a more of a feeling of faith instead of feeling of skepticism. Faith that some things will work, you'll find something, and even if a lot of things that you might be reading might not be right, but there's something there that will work for you. So that is all for today I have in this contrasting video of personal development and mathematics. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for listening.